Hello everyone, we're joined here with Palestra from Team Liquid. You guys must be absolutely buzzing right now. You're on a hot streak, you just won against SMG, you're winning your map pick against G2. What is it like to be potentially one map away from being in the finals up against Shopify?
Feels good, but it's not the end. We need to win another map. Now is their peak, so we'll try to do a different kind of stuff that we did on last Lotus. We did a good defense on the last map, last Lotus that we played, and right now we are going to try to make that defense good again. But now the attack will be the different side for us. Last time we didn't put any rounds as a attack side, so right now we are trying to put some rhythm on them and try to show them how our attack is on Lotus.
All right, we can be expecting a little surprise. Thank you so much for that info. We're looking forward to it. Good luck out there. Bye, guys.
Wow, they just took Ascent, but they're already talking about Lotus and they feel like they're ready for it. But if you missed that map, it was a very interesting one to say the least, Sapphire.
Yeah, it started off in the first half. It was really an IGL masterclass from both sides. We saw some really interesting moments. Obviously from Team Liquid, they pulled out the classic on their attacker side. They look for that opening frag, and then they wait and they wait. And they were waiting for those Petra pushes, and they caught them off guard a lot. But also G2, they still kept it close because they had some really nice set plays of their own.
Yeah, I do recall that there was a really interesting one that I think that you're about to break down, Baby Bay.
Yeah, round 7 here. It was a beautiful round out of G2, and it starts with Petra's op here holding this off angle on B main, and it's all a bait setup here. So the smoke comes out, flash hits, Petra still gets a kill because she just shoots off of the KO flash. And what I want to detail here is this Sova dart to sell this bait and switch. And an Omen smoke comes out here too. So right now, the enemy team from Team Liquid, they're all worried about the Jet. You know, they had to do multiple things to get her off the lines and stuff like that. But this is all util to sell the fake for the KO, and Mimi ends up going huge. And just small details here, Petra shooting the KJ ult to make sure that if the molly does miss, or G2 Mimi's timing is off on the molly for like a second, it still will break no matter what. And to pop the knives here and to just go bananas here and kill another one in Omen. And here's Mimi's POV of it as well. Just getting a 3K. They're not aware at all, and it's all because of the small details of the dart, the Omen smoke coming out, and the updraft to distract them.
Yeah, there were like so many things that went right for G2 in this round, right? But of course, this went over to Team Liquid, and I love what you brought up earlier, Sapphire, about how, you know, they would wait for the first pick and then just like back off a little bit, wait for G2 to kind of regroup and say, what was that? It was like they were a shark in the water, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's because that's where Sarah picked up some big plays. And obviously she had a slower start to the tournament and then have a really dominant performance in this map. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough because some of their other stars, like Petra, like Mimi, weren't necessarily playing up to their potential.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, it was probably because they were caught off guard by Team Liquid, you know, doing things that were a little bit different. And plus, you know, the momentum that they were on, especially on the kills of Bastarda, who was just amazing. The matchup, by the way, between Petra and Bastarda was amazing.
Yeah, and she was really confident going into these rounds, especially on the eco round in mid. She's not afraid to fight and everything, and that's what you want out of your duelist player. You want your duelist player to have the confidence to take these aim duels, even if they're on an eco. And yeah, you could get one dig and things could not go your way, but when it does, wow, it looks amazing. And another ace was stolen, by the way.
Yes, we thought she was gonna get it, right? But of course, she will get the MVP for that. Sarah, on the other end, though, I do remember a very memorable play that she had where she TP'd onto the back. I think, like, you know, there was a clash and then she was there on the back. It was just so gutsy, crazy. And there were just so many plays like that. And we are just on map 1, everybody. So I feel like we're in for a long, you know, 2-1 series. Baby Bay, I call you out just a bit.
You know what? It is what it is, but I did like what I saw from G2, like trying to make a comeback and getting a little bit of momentum in their way. And yeah, I think, you know, I was worried about Liquid not having enough energy, but I think that crowd, like I said, was going to give it to them, and they looked really, really good. I'm not going to lie.
Well, speaking of G2, let's hear what a G2 coach Carcass has to say ahead of map 2.
Ginny here, and we have Carcass from G2 Gozen. Thank you for joining us. We're looking at Team Liquid right now. They're on a hot streak. They want to send back-to-back. Lotus coming up next, a map that Petra yesterday had a phenomenal game on. Do you think that's going to be enough?
We will see. They're playing amazing. They're much better than they were like in the first day when we faced them and when we knocked them down to lower brackets. yeah, they came back here, and I mean, they're playing much better, as I said. But we're gonna do our best, yeah, to go on top. Like, we want to be in the grand finals again.
All right, well, thank you so much for that. Hopefully you see you guys there. Good luck on the server.
I love what Karkus mentioned about, you know, they're playing a lot better than they were, and we're actually seeing Team Liquid evolving as the tournament goes on, right? We saw with SMG earlier as well. They were kind of adapting some of their strategies, and now the Team Liquid that's playing over here is very different from the Team Liquid that was playing from day one.
It's a very different Team Liquid, especially the ones that had to play against G2 to open up this entire tournament. Right now, we see so many more ideas on their attacker side. Again, relying on what got them to this tournament. It's that strategy that Daiki has talked about since 2022, just saying, you know what, we get that frag, we hunt that down, we wait, we group, and we attack together. And that's what worked out really well, and we're going to need to see that on Lotus today, because against G2 a couple of days ago, they really struggled on the attack side. They could not find any of those opening frags.
Yeah, and the utility is going to be key here. Like, something that they did really well on that Ascent map was making sure they didn't get picked off too early, because you saw earlier in the half against G2, G2 was actually winning a lot of the early rounds because they were getting the first bloods. And yeah, a little bit was random, you know, shots through smoke and stuff like that from Petra. But there's things that you can do to mitigate that, you know? Like, for example, like when Petra was posted on lines with the op, they were using a lot of good utility, Omen flash, or, you know, KO flashes with the jet smoke paired on top of it. So they need to use their utility, chain it together like they have been doing, and then bait these rotations out and play the long game, the slow game.
Actually, looking at G2 right now, they don't seem phased too much. I think they're pretty proud of the performance that they gave out. You can see Petra has a big smile on her face right now. Of course, Team Liquid looking as confident as ever. You wouldn't have thought that this is their second series of the day, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point, wasn't it like 6-12, 6-11 or something? And, you know, it looked like they were going to lose that, and then they started to close the gap. And again, we talked about Team Liquid has been on the stage now for a couple hours today, whereas G2, they had to warm up. And so that last map, they're probably considering that's our warm-up for the day, and now we're going to look much better on our own map pick.
Yeah, so the cool thing about this map pick for Team Liquid side is that they get to prep, because last time they played them on this map, they got absolutely destroyed, you know what I mean? And you can actually change your entire game plan, and you already know what the side of G2 is going to do. G2 can't adapt to anything that Team Liquid did, because they just rolled them the first time they played. So this could really work in favor for Liquid.
I'm not sure what Isa and Jajina were playing right there. It seemed to be some kind of game, but I love that you brought that out. I mean, a lot of teams, for example, like, you know, once they show the cards that are in their hand, suddenly they have to take it back and then come up with another set entirely as we head into this map. And we are going into our Prime Gaming Asian Select right now for map 2, which will be Lotus. And no big surprises yet here. What are you thinking, Sapphire? We're seeing a lot of control.
Yeah, this is exactly what we saw the last time these two teams faced off. The only difference is the Astra versus the Omen, but otherwise, yeah, it's a very controller-heavy comp here.
Yeah, and I think this map is going to just come down to how fast will G2 adapt to the changes that Liquid made from the first time they played till now. And G2 is a team who, like, commend themselves for being able to adapt on the fly and doing all these things. That's what they said in the first series against Team Liquid, especially on that Sunset map. That's what they said got them the victory. So let's see how fast they can make adaptations and see how it goes.
I am liking the Astra pick as well for Team Liquid based on their style earlier. That's bound to make a lot of feints a lot easier. But let's find out if this series makes it to a third map, and we will send it back to your casters once again. Here's Doug and Athena.
Thank you so much, Mika. Yeah, I mean, for this to turn over towards Lotus, where we've seen so many ridiculous things in this tournament already, just feels so fitting. Again, an opportunity for Liquid to shock the world and really lean into this dark horse opportunity if they're able to take down G2 on what would be G2's map.
Yeah, no 4 duelist comp, but we do have the Astra, so it is going to be a little bit of a different comp on either side to see how they fight. And the A-main fight is so strong. 4 players from either side fighting towards here, and it's going to go the way of TL 4v2.
What a banger of a start. It really feels like Liquid are just getting everything falling their way at just the right time. Even just winning that, I mean, you know it's going to be a scrap A main at the beginning, right? Like, that's just kind of standard with the way that the map plays. It just goes so perfectly for Liquid. It's not even that they walked away with the numbers advantage. they're all healed back up.
Yeah.
They have ghosts. They have so many things that are in their favor right now.
Yeah, G2 trying to walk up and see if they can get some sort of info without full fighting and prodding as much as they can, but Sarah in behind gets Issa, and now it's down to a 4v3, but again, like you said, so much util.
They've cleared the turret. They still have the Astra util they're going to have to deal with. The gravity well, daring the swing. There's no like, oh, actually there is a bit of a flank here. If they're not careful about it, Sarah with one. That's all it's going to be. Another pistol in favor of Liquid. I believe they won the first two too, didn't they?
Yeah. What a jump scare for Daiki.
Yeah.
Winning pistol seems to be TL's game today. They are going to start with the Vandal right away on Vizera. This is really good because Lotus is such a long-range map, right? You want to take these long-range fights, and especially as a Sentinel where you can hold down the site against a team where the only space that they can make is with Petra with those satchels.
Right.
It's going to be super important. Team Liquid, really solid showing so far. The way they played, the way they set up ceiling, the way that they had detail for everything, and that's why I like this Astra as well. Like playing that post bounce can be so much stronger than G2 comp.
Oh, that Guardian's tough at that distance, but fortunately Bizarre's there to help. The turret was involved in the action. Now everybody kind of clumping up and seeing if they can get any kills, pad their stats, get closer to their ults. Ooh. Is that a little shooting of the body? Is that what I saw there? Ooh. Oh my.
Yeah, I think it was. I think we just maybe saw it again.
Oh my. Yeah, Liquid's off that Prime Gaming flawless. Liquid is feeling it. The crowd is too. I mean, they realize what's at stake right now. Remember, last year, 3rd place finish, and now an opportunity to exceed that.
Yeah, Bizarra just standing outside of that B main with that Vandal, putting it to work. We were just talking about long-range duels and long-range duels. It was. And yes, Doug, 3rd place finish. You want to break that curse. And when is the time to do it? It is now. But they do have the giants of G2 to face. Now this heavy aiming control from this defense side, it's probably going to cause some sort of rotation from the attack side. You don't want to fight it. At the end of the day, they do have a little bit more on util on the defense side with that paranoia and with those nades to hold it down. But retaking towards the C is going to be really good call. There is a double sentry here though. They need to use a lot of util to get out onto that site.
Tapping of the door, some KJ util B. They're playing pretty far up too. That smoke is going to spot one, but that's all it was. It seems like Petra's going to take the long way around and try to apply some pressure from heaven. They're scaling really far up. They just want to take these fights. They want to scrap, and this bonus would be huge for Liquid if they can pull it off, and so far, so good.
Yeah, I mean, taking that space so smart because, again, you get to play these post plants where you have the Astra Star to be the initial delay, and then you have the mollies. But Petra's here to save the day with 2 kills.
Glance is getting another, but time has been ticking away a little bit here. Chujina with no armor. Mimi weak. Lands a shot anyway. It's got to be Daiki, of course. Who else? She's been a hero. Oh, that swing was gross, but it's not going to be enough.
Don't even
Oh,
that shit.
G2 a massive round.
That was wild. It did not look like G2 was going to win that round, but they did. Still, Doug, that was such an expensive round. Luckily for G2, they have been doing this buy where they only get half armor. We still have the Ares on Roxy, which I think could work, especially as a Senti on that C side. If you set up, you spam off your util, not much to be worried about, but Petra absolutely saving the day because that was looking like an amazing post plan for TL. They still had an Astra Star left. They still had 2 players alive. It was looking so good. But Petra, again, wow.
Satchel's forward, flashes out, and TP's up. They've taken all of that space towards A already. Meanwhile, the rest of Liquid are exploring B. The dog already drawn out from Mimi. And now an inevitable pause in the action. Oh, Mimi so close to finding one, but it's Masato who wins that duel out.
TL has been doing amazing at putting pressure in this front B, taking the space. They know it's not super heavily contested, and now that they got that pick onto B, it's going to be so easy for them to regroup and just hit, but Isa dropping, trying to poke and prod towards that A side. It's gonna cause TL to commit towards that B.
And commit they do. The satchel forward, the alarm bot deep. And they're going to be able to deal with the flank that's inevitably coming from G2. You see it on the mini-map. Mimi and Glance both trying to take some of the space away. The turret covering things. Jujina precariously placed. The paranoia gives everything away. So well considered. But Daiki's there to help. And you still have Bizarro who's playing far off. It's all left onto Glance now. It's just not interested.
Yeah,
just not
that
interested.
was kind of hard for G2 to win that round. And again, I'm sounding like a broken record, but these post plants for TL are so important. G2 need to deny this space a lot earlier. I mean, they tried walking up and fighting that B main, but they just did it without any util. And again, G2 just getting caught off guard. They allow that first pick to go. I mean, the trade, they tried retaking space towards that A line, but unfortunately TL already had 4 players in front of B ready to react together. They're just waiting to see if Isa could find something, waiting to see if she could unlock some sort of crazy lurk so they could potentially fake or potentially end towards A or do a split, but instead just the reactions. And again, the space that they take, the way that they play post plant, it's clear that they're picking their comp for a reason, and it's clear that G2 needs to do something a little bit more aggressive to fight for that B main.
Well, that's what they're doing. You have 3 set up here. Paranoia set up off of Glance, you imagine. But Liquid not interested in that area of the map right now, although Jujina could be caught on the rotate because G2 have taken so much of the space already, and she understands there's pressure. She knows that she's being surrounded. The question is, what do the rest of Liquid do off of this? Roxy's in a really good spot, but just really doesn't have the weaponry to fight back with.
Yeah, that dog getting info onto the KJ, but it's not enough for G2 to do anything off of Mimi getting a kill, but the rest of her team dropping, and now the full site is free. They can try to get this Jujina. They know that she was really late towards this A site.
The problem, I mean, Glance has upgraded a weapon. Mimi's gotten another kill. They're investing the lockdown here. Perhaps not feeling comfortable with what's kind of been going on. You see a couple of things start to slip away, and it's just better to play it safe, invest, and make sure you secure the round. That's exactly what Liquid do. And every round that passes, every round that Liquid wins, every step that they get closer to the grand final, this crowd gets a little bit louder.
Yeah, the crowd absolutely crazy, and for a reason. TL playing so well, so put together on this map.
Really
almost.
Good.
They definitely came in with a game plan. They knew what they wanted to do. They're finding the holes in G2's defense and making them second guess. They put pressure B main for the first 3 to 4 rounds, and now the one time that G2 pushes towards that B main, their whole team is in A already. Like, it's really well played. This is textbook Valorant, textbook defaulting and understanding the push and pull method where you just put pressure and make them rotate.
Well, the problem is, it feels like right now G2 are reading a different textbook.
Yeah.
Right? It seems like they're a chapter behind in how things have played out. Even just pointing out what you just mentioned, you lull them into expecting something, and then just when you know they're going to swap, you hit something else. This has been a masterclass from Team Liquid, and they find themselves up 3 rounds. They're already drawing out timeouts from G2. This is great.
Yeah, this is exactly what we're talking about when you say that you're forcing the other team to play at your pace and play your game.
Yeah, absolutely.
TL is forcing G2 to play their game. The second that they're trying to find them and pick up the breadcrumbs and find their trails, they're not there. They're somewhere else, and they're abusing the gaps that they've created for G2. And now this 1-4 lead, looking pretty scary, but Mimi, she has those secrets. They have Petra's ult. They're setting up towards some sort of B main hit or B main pressure, so maybe this is going to be a battle.
It has the potential to be explosive right off the bat if they get just what they're looking for. What's the cue? You got the paranoia set up, it's a swing. Petra pops the ult, and there it is, the flash in the face as she connects onto another. Now finding success on this early aggression B.
Scout destroyed.
Jujina spotting Sarah. And Liquid for the first time, really what feels like all map. They're having to reset, pause for a moment. Scaling up with the orb, taking some space away. going on an exploratory mission.
Yeah, Issa knows that this site is being played in a retake fashion right now. That's why she's not scared to take all the space. But she's actually going to push up and try to take this fight to equalize numbers. But Roxy just there, ready to put that pressure. The rest of the team, is going to be ending towards this beat because they couldn't get that A space. They wanted to do some sort of split, get some sort of numbers, but now they're going to have to do something desperate to get these.
This looks like desperation. Spamming through, I thought for a moment they were going to commit. Petra goes flying out of the smoke into her death. And Eugenia's left in a 1v4, not going to come to fruition. G2 punch back.
Yep, what around G2 finally gambling on the right call, the right setup, the right trap play towards that B. Just walking up and instantly using Yuto off of contact. That was really, really good. This is something that, I mean, TL loves to use heavy B main pressure in order to force the other team to rotate or to get more information or to think that they're going to be ending towards that site. So it's going to be interesting to see if TL is going to commit to keep doing this method, and it looks like they are. They're 1-3-1ing towards that B main. And so all this noise outside of A main is going to be communicated, and they're going to know that they're heavy. Maybe a speed up, maybe a C split, maybe going through the door and farming these orbs. I mean, they know that they're pushed up towards A main.
The longer they wait here on this freeze, the more the pressure feels weighted by G2. You start to see some of the spam. Issa gets tagged up. Yeah, they're close. If there was doubt before, it's confirmed now.
Yep, TL falling back to regroup towards that A main. They're hearing a lot of movement, and they're not scared to re-clear this. It's going to be a 3v1. Glance just sitting here, trying to hold by herself, but if they burst with a flash or some sort of util, it's going to be over.
Massive, not able to get the second.
Here comes the party.
Whoa, we're investing the ult here. They want to push forward. The site's going to be entirely open. And it does, there is a setup for a late flank out from Eugenia. See on the minimap, she's creeping up towards B main. Keep a close eye on her. They've dropped the pit. They have a lot of tools here to convert this round.
Yeah, this post plant's going to be a little bit scary. Eugenia is close, but she's also just a tiny bit too far. She still has stars on her to delay that post plant. These three players, they have to delay for as long as possible in order for this lurk to be effective.
With every second that ticks away, a little bit of space is taken. And the pit continues to be a problem. It persists. Petra finally getting onto there, but Issa's still up. And now the flank is coming through. The pit's going to come down, but Eugenia's timing is perfect. She's got to hit the spam, and she does!
Eugenia!
The Red Bull clutch for Liquid just at the right time.
My goodness, exactly like I'm saying, they have to delay for long enough. The Astra Star, the Astra Lurk, absolutely beautiful, stunning round from Eugenia. Her teammates dropping dead, but it doesn't matter. They would eventually delay for just about long enough. This is such a beautiful spray down. It wasn't even planned for her, but it does not matter because that spray was just beautiful. And now we have another force buy coming in from G2. I say force buy because Mimi, she really has that sheriff towards that A site.
Convinced that it's the right time to invest. Drop the nade. We haven't really seen an aggressive C hit. Petra's already fallen.
I've got your trail.
I mean, everything's working for Team Liquid now. Not going to have a late flank or anything like that this time around. G2 are much better poised to fight back. Never mind for this retake. Bastarda's in their face. The nade in their lap dissuades, and then she takes more. This is just so aggressive and so confident.
Yeah, I mean, they know that they have to play up once they've lost one of their post plants on Eugenia, but Bastarda, I don't even think she's pushing for space. I think she's pushing because she's feeling it. She knows she can get these ones and win her fights. And that 3K is so crazy, so crisp.
Well,
such a good round.
And honestly, because of the investment that from G2 that we were talking about at the beginning of the round, they have to cut their losses.
Yeah.
In another circumstance, maybe you risk it a little bit more and try to get something going. But given their force, they have to keep anything they possibly can into this next round. So you see the save come through, Liquid with the 4-round lead, but G2 will have 2 rifles going into the next.
Yep, it really goes to show. I mean, G2, they're losing this momentum. Their buy is rough. The plays are rough. The setups, I mean, the only thing that worked was a trap play where the other team just happened to go in their direction.
You're
and
absolutely
now
right.
it's like, you know, what do we do? What do we change to fix this? I mean, the holds are just so hard for G2. They have the Astra Suck, they have the nades, they have the mollies. Like, it's so hard to hold on the actual site unless you're fighting up into the main. So maybe a little bit more aggression, but for this round, they do have 2 Vandals that they saved, 2 Sheriffs, and just a Bucky on Roxy.
Toxin screen down.
They're expecting something aggressive. Dog forward a little bit, clearing out every corner. With that, that's another kill. Yeah, this is great for Liquid once more. Mimi trying to dodge around, try to stay alive. She is the one with the Vandal. And that is the only thing left standing.
What a lurk from Issa.
I mean, they're making a statement here.
Spike planted.
There's no denying it. They're not concerned about who's on the other side of the stage. They're not concerned about the names in the server. They're looking to make history.
TL. Wow, that was great. I mean, they're just playing to their strengths at this point. I mean, they know when they're doing this B main trap. They know when they're doing some sort of A-main fight. They've seen everything that G2 has had to offer already and has countered it. Issa with this beautiful lurk, she's taking the space. She knows that Killjoy is playing retake towards site once again. And as soon as she gets that information, she's not afraid to push up and take that free space. Really good communication from TL overall. But we now have a gun round again from G2 with 4 ults, Doug.
They've got to convert here. And they're going to try, but they've gone aggressive off of the flash. It's gorgeous. But Side and Bizarre get a couple of glances there on the trade. And now the spike out of reach. Glance able to play this really as confidently as she wants.
3v3, a lot of time on the clock to grab this spike. I don't think TL is too worried about it right now. Just holding, trying to see where the gaps are in their defenses. G2 opting to kind of come close together, hold it. I think that's smart. Because again, they don't have that much util to get this. They don't have flashes, they don't have Dog, they don't have Roomba on the TL side. All they have are mollies and stars, which isn't really going to be the best way to retake this.
This fight is going to erupt on Mount at any moment there, and there it was. Glance was in a really good spot. Sarah was there to help. Issa in the 1v2, and it's doable. Tries to land the first, whiffs, doesn't on the second. But Roxy puts a bullet between Issa's eyes as G2 get their third.
Finally, the right gamble from G2. We've been talking about how they have to gamble these trap plays, these fights, these aggressions, and finally TL fall into their hands once again. So far, the round that they're winning is when TL has just gambled right into their traps, but these kills so beautiful, so fast of G2 to come set up in a beautiful crossfire where they're ready for everything. They know there's no flashes, no one has to play anti, everyone's just ready to swing and trade together, and I think that this could be a little bit of a momentum turner for G2.
I mean, they desperately need it. Still in a position to keep this half competitive. Aggression on C. They've taken so much space already. They still have those 4 ults that we talked about in the previous round. Sarah might be in trouble, although Roxy is here with her. Meanwhile, there's a fight that's going to be happening mid as well, as they've lost A. They haven't cleared tree, though. June is in a spot to control the rotate. Only one is found, but that one might be enough. Issa's going to have so much to do here. She understands you got the Seekers, you got a flash in your face. That's so difficult.
Yeah, the reaction towards B, really fast, really quick by TL, and it actually worked out great because they knew that everyone that pushed through C is flanking, and everyone else is on A. Daiki getting the pick onto Mimi, and now this lockdown goes down just to set enough time away so they can get ready for this post-plant raise, already rotating all the way through spawn, getting that upper control. Petra coming out with the ult, but no one is close enough for her to find.
She's created some space, but that's all it is, and is she expecting Bizarra, who's going to be coming around the corner? Sarah on the defuse. She's already gotten it 3/4 of the way. Sticks at half, and Bizarra cleans things up. Yeah, the ult was used, but a great hold from Liquid.
Again, these post plants are so hard for G2 to counter when TL is just getting all of that space. Again, Liquid pushing through that C link, understanding that no one is in spawn. Bastarda going for a really great spawn wrap into upper. That was all played absolutely beautifully, even though they were a player down. Jujina holding that flank, she managed to get one, but it doesn't matter because the reactions at the end of the day is what's making this team win and win over. And now we're going to see them heading towards some sort of fake A pressure from TL side towards that A main, but we still have Raze and KJ holding that C. They're getting some sort of info. The 2 flashes coming in from Daiki, they know that they're playing up close towards that A main based on that, and they're going to choose not to go that way.
Opting to lean towards C instead. The flash coming through. Isol wants to take this fight. And, well, that might have been a bit too much, although she does have help. Jujina's coming over, pushing it for mid, and they have no idea she's there. Gorgeous timing. They're playing so well together right now. Jujina's going to try to get another. Meanwhile, Daiki dies to a spit over on C. The spike is picked up. This is still winnable for G2.
Yeah, 2v2, Jujina low on health. They're opting to go back towards that B. They know that KJ is on C, the lockdown is down. They know that Sky was pushed up towards it, but they don't know that they're grouping up towards the spawn.
They have a Cosmic Divide, too.
You are divided.
Right on cue. The alarm bot is behind the wall, too. Very nicely played. She doesn't know. She had no idea. Jujina's weak. 31 HP. Waiting for the wall. Roxy's there on the swing. Dude, these G2 girls, they feel so clutch. Man, they just feel so clutch. Exactly when their team needs something big, they deliver.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on C, that was like really, really interesting because I actually saw a kill on TL going towards Sarah with her Molly. So the hold, the defensive side hold on G2 was really well.
8-4 half in favor of Team Liquid. Potential history on the cards. We're going to throw it down to the desk to break down that first half.
G2's map pick, but it doesn't seem like you can catch Team Liquid off guard with anything. They have come prepared for this very moment, and it's actually quite frightening.
Yeah, what a fantastic attack side from them. Like, again, doing a lot to find that opening frag, but on this map, they're taking the extremities. They're looking for those on A, on C. They're getting that opening frag, and then they're mostly regrouping B, but usually leaving like one player, A or C, and they have a nice flank on those retakes.
And it is now time for our Hyper X Reflex moment of the day, and this one goes to Jojina, which had us up in arms here, baby.
Yeah, this was crazy, and it's all because of what Heather was talking about, this 1-3-1 default they were doing. Jojina lurked all the way through B on a timing of this turret that went down for a split second, and then gets the collat on the diffuser. It was the most insane timing I think I've seen in this tournament so far.
And just the instinct to be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
It's like Jojina has been on point with all of these clutches so far. I mean, we've seen her perform this way since yesterday.
Yeah, she really, she wasn't a player that we've necessarily talked about when this tournament started, but wow, she has our attention now. And that round not only just like gave them so much momentum and energy, but like it kicked off a sizable win streak.
Yeah, and I think that Daiki also had a lot of great plays and a lot of great calls in this round.
Yeah, and how about Issa just shooting bodies like round 3, round 2, round 3. Like, they are so confident going into this, and they want it so bad. But nevertheless, this is not a bad half for G2. This map is an attacker side. They need to start by winning the pistol. If they don't, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Well, they said that they had something up their sleeves. When we talked to Karkas earlier, they mentioned that, you know, they were prepared for this. Perhaps it will show up on the second half. Perhaps Team Liquid is just doing that chameleon technique again. It's like, okay, you have something prepared, G2. We can find out what exactly that will be. But let's get the second half underway. We're going to toss it on back to our casters, Doug and Athena.
Thank you so much. This pistol could not be more important for G2 here. You know, Baby Bay put it quite beautifully. He has no idea what to say, right? If they don't win this pistol, then what?
Yeah,
it's over.
8-4. It is a big lead for TL. 4 rounds. They win the pistol. It goes up to 6. Like, that is really hard to come back from. So, yes, definitely a super important pistol. And we're going to see them doing a lot of pressure towards Mimi with that dog and Flash.
Oh,
but the rest of the team is walked up towards A.
Oh, my gosh, they had no idea. What a start for G2!
Wow, both teams contacting up, but neither side was, but TL was not ready to see G2 on the other side of that wall. They already crossed through. They thought the dog and the flash was enough pressure for them to assume that maybe there's only one player towards here. They were not ready for the Avengers to just show up at their door. That was crazy. The orb not going down until they saw someone. Really well played by G2. They just walked up TL.
I mean, that was a mad call.
Yeah.
And again, a desperately needed pistol. To keep things competitive, to lean into the fact that this map tends to lean towards the attacking side, I think is huge.
Yeah, and I think that the difference between Omen and Astra here is super important because Omen can kind of TP on top of that rubble and make sure that those kinds of plays don't happen. They don't have that Omen. They don't have that verticality ready in order to counter any of these plays. So Astra, you know, you got to be way more careful with that kind of stuff towards A main. Fighting A main is going to be a little bit harder. You're going to have to use a little bit more control. The stars, the subs, the stuns from Astra, you're going to have to use a lot more because you don't have that Omen to look over that orb.
Roxy was plenty of reason to smile after that round. I mean, they were decayed. They had no shot.
Yeah.
So exactly what they needed, and they've invested into it. 2 Bulldogs, a Vandal, and a Guardian for the attacking side. And as is the case in situations like this, you want to get out of this as cleanly as possible, keep all the weapons that you can, and carry it into the next.
Yep, just a standard setup from TL here, looking to quickly rotate wherever the pressure goes. Sarah walking up, trying to find some sort of lurk. I mean, she only has a ghost. Not that big of a deal if she's away from her team. The dog getting all that information towards C. Actually, all the players on C hiding from it. TL did not give the information, but Mimi getting the initial pick onto Issa, walking up way too early.
Clean shots up from Sarah, too. Dropping Jujina, alleviating some of that pressure. And now G2 should have a much more comfortable attempt at this. I mean, there's really nowhere to go. If you're trying to play backside there, you have a flash coming around one side, the nade coming around the other. That's 3 on the round for Mimi. And it's just Daiki that remains. And Daiki's been good, don't get me wrong. But not this one. A prime gaming flawless as G2 bridged the gap ever so slightly.
I mean, you literally just talked about how G2 need that pistol. Yes, they needed it, and they got it, and now there's only a 2-round differential. What felt like kind of a landslide from TL that first half, all of a sudden, just like that, has closed down to only 2 rounds. Now with a bonus from G2, the gun round from TL. Hopefully they can hold this down if they want to keep their lead, but G2 is looking to fight for this round. They're going to start towards that A main. They are all grouped up. Just a standard setup. Astra playing with KJ utility towards A. Could be a little good, could be really good to delay just long enough for the team to rotate, but again, this rotate is going to be really good. Look, Viper has full C-line. She knows that no one is there. Sky already flooding towards that A site, and the tree is going to try to be held by Jujina.
Blocking vision.
The thing too is G2 they have to use some utility in order to take this A main space, right? So yeah, they have that utility that they've used. They've gained this space, and it was uncontested. So Liquid don't have to really navigate any of that stuff yet. And that forces G2 to pause for just a moment. Either wait for refreshed utility to come back up, or play around what they have left. Petra clearing out the turret, leaving Liquid with more questions than they have answers right now.
Yeah, G2 probably going to regress to that A because they saw the raise, they saw the KJ utility, and I lied, they're going back towards B after seeing that there's so much more pressure. Bastarda with the first kill, and now this B postman needs to have some sort of push to equalize numbers.
Can Petra find any way to relieve some of this pressure?
Spike planted.
She's got a firing squad behind her. Look at the ones who are going to have to go forward here. Daiki does have a flash, but it's just a dangerous, my goodness, what a dangerous game Petra's playing. Getting healed back up. As Liquid have been patient with this one. Choosing not to strike quite yet, and it's going to be off the timing for the flank. Jujina can find some of this, it's going to be great, but they cleared the turret. Petra just snaps on Issa, that was dirty. Looking for another. The defenses have fallen apart. Daiki and Bizarro with nothing to do here. Glance and Roxy are still so healthy, but it's all on a glance. Time is short.
Oh, do they have it?
Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness! 1 second! The difference maker there.
I mean, that was looking. I mean, TL was waiting for so long that it even gave time for. It even gave Roxy time to turn around and kill the flanker and then come all the way back and help her team on site. They took so long of that. That was super risky. They were definitely cooking some sort of retake on that. But either way, round goes to TL. Definitely super scary, but they still managed to get it to 9-6.
I mean, you can see the questions on the coaches' faces, the players' faces. Would that defuse come through? Some of the narrowest of margins. And a couple of kills already being traded.
The difference between TL and G2 is they aren't scared to fight for that B main, even if it's just with bodies. They don't need a trap setup to do that, but the C.
Oh, Petra went. And Issa went harder. The satchel out, the nade, or the ult used, it doesn't find a target. Petra pays for it with her life.
Toxin screen down.
You see G2 starting to explore the map a little bit more. And much like you've said, in situations like this, you have to gamble a little bit, right? You have to be willing to take a little bit more space than you normally would in order to try to equalize things and get them back on fair footing. This numbers deficit they find themselves in right now is difficult.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking this site. They knew the alarm bot was there. They knew that the other team is probably going to rotate pretty early on because they broke that alarm bot so long ago. But again, TL, setting up for this retake. G2 is taking that space, exactly what you just mentioned, where they feel like they're pressured into doing that. TL not ready for it. G2 gets 2 kills right off the bat.
And that's exactly what they needed. Again, back to fair footing. G2 so much healthier right now. Daiki weak, having to go forward first. Lance doesn't have a paranoia or anything like that. She almost landed the shot anyway. Issa has gotten its half, a little bit more time to take the fight. But the fight goes in favor of Glance. G2 keep it close.
Wow, that was so crazy. That went so back and forth so many times. Again, TL, they keep setting up for this retake from Heaven, which I'm not fully understanding. They're fully giving up the C-Link and allowing the other team to take their time to set up into the post plan. We've talked about how TL are so good at doing these fast floods, these fast retakes, how they hold on to the site for so long to the point where their teammates are ready to rotate. But because they're playing off site on B, it seems like they have this sort of set retake, I guess, to go from Heaven, but it's not working out for them.
Yeah.
And they definitely cannot just get pushed like that if they're trying to set up for that Heaven. They need to have someone holding it, ready to get those frags.
Yeah, I imagine that's part of the conversation right now. I think on the other side, you've got to commend G2 on understanding what the win condition was in that situation, applying it perfectly, and again, getting a 7th round. Timeout called from Liquid, their first of the map. They still have 1 more to work with. Jujina clears calm. I don't think I can have an opinion. This is a lose-lose. I shouldn't have read the sign.
Yeah.
I should have just left
So
it.
what's your opinion?
2-round lead for Liquid. Timeout being worked. And we'll see. I mean, you've got a couple of ults that are close by here. For Team Liquid, they have Daiki who's close. Bizarra who's close, but the buy's not great.
Yep, these Sheriffs, they're going to have to put them to work, and they're choosing to start 3 towards the say. They're going to be fighting for this aiming pressure, and like I said, they're going to need a lot more util to fight for this, and we see the 2 stars down already from Astra. Hopefully this util is enough to get them a couple of kills, because that's what they really need. And they're just walking up, but again, they keep doing this contact play, which just isn't working. As soon as I say that, Jujina actually equalizes numbers by getting a kill herself, but that's not what you want to do. You want to overuse your util, especially if you don't have the right guns for it.
You can't even, I mean, you win the gunfight, but you're not in a position to upgrade the weapon either. This is, yes, it's a weapon out of the hands of G2 and a player off the map, but you haven't really accomplished a ton. Even with that, though, G2's they're playing this very respectfully. They're playing this very cautiously. It seems like they might forego grabbing the orb for now. Sarah's pretty close to having her pit online. Mimi is close to having...
Pulling them in!
Okay. That's another big one. Still no weapon upgraded though. And yes, it's gotten a little bit easier, but there's still so much to do. If they try to NB here, you've got Bizarra. Oh, Georgina almost catching another, spamming through, having to deal with the turret. Issa's not far off. Oh, that would have been huge. But not able to convert. Lance is weak, and that's a spike! She went forward, perhaps a bit too far. Issa and Georgina, and finally a Guardian has been found. 13 seconds left. They've got to push this, and they've got to get the spike now.
They can delay long enough too. I mean, they still have stars on the line as well. Sarah getting that spike down. That's something they desperately need. The Viper Pit probably going to go down towards that spawn, and Roxy getting a pick onto Issa. Oh my goodness, if they just stayed together, maybe that could have been a lot faster, a lot better of a retake. But now Georgina in a 1v2, we've seen her win these.
I mean, if there are allegations of you clearing comm, this would be the time to do it. In the face of a Pit, with the Guardian, pushing forward, snaps the first, 3 down on the round. Pit still in play, and Sarah so weak. Tap the ground, and Georgina doesn't! A 4K, as Liquid pull off a ridiculous round. Yeah, Georgina clears comm. The Red Bull clutch for Team Liquid.
Georgina is on absolute fire, and just like Sapphire said on that depth, we did not talk a whole lot about Georgina before this event, but after this event, for sure, she has cemented herself on this roster. She has shown why she deserves to be on this stage. Georgina single-handedly winning so many rounds for her team thus far in this tournament. Amazing place. We've seen her timings, her lurks, so beautifully played. And look at the crowd, look at the coaches, look at this reaction. TL, that is going to be a hard one to lose for G2. You need to recover mentally from that one.
Not a lot of time to think about it, already into the 18th round. No ults on the side of G2. A healthy buy for everyone, though.
Run.
I lied, sorry about that. They have the lockdown. It's gonna buy a little bit of space. Tap the door, no fight found, though. But there's a lot of space that's been taken away from Issa here.
2 players going on the flank towards B main. I mean, they have Mimi holding it, but is Mimi gonna be enough? Issa making so much noise. Mimi getting the first initial kill. Bastarda getting the trade.
Whoa.
The ult coming off of Mimi's movement. My gosh.
Bizarra, an excellent counter. They tried to push forward, and it's gone horribly awry. G2 on the ropes, as Bizarra gets another 3.
I am speechless. That round was wild. We thought it wasn't gonna go so wrong as soon as we see Bastarda miss that raise out. Mimi playing for herself, but Bizarra, my gosh. I mean, G2, understandably, they made a call. Hey, there's 2 flank. We heard a raise out. You know, let's push. Let's take some more space away from them. Let's flip the site, especially if they're flanking. But they just weren't ready for Bizarra. Oh my goodness, these multi-kills are clutching round after round for TL. You were talking about earlier how G2 is so clutch. They're really good at clutching, yes, but TL's clutches are when they have those multi-kill moments. Those moments where they're delayed for so long that their team is so ready to fight. That was a wild round to watch, and now we have TL ahead, still ahead, but now it's 11-7, 2 rounds away from that point.
And you see the expression on the players' faces on the stage right now on the side of Liquid. I mean, pure joy, right? Again, understanding how close they are to doing something ridiculous. And for the first time, I think all tournament, we just took a quick glance, no pun intended, at G2. And there's concern. I mean, you saw it on Roxy's face, you saw it on Glance's face. It's very, very still. And you imagine Carcass is able to provide some words of encouragement, but this is tough.
It's almost like they're petrified. No pun intended as well.
Stop. Mine was actually an accident. I don't believe you.
We're gonna start with this regular 2-1-2 from the defense side. KJ playing towards that C, actually playing a full retake setup. She has this lockdown. They know that they have to push in order to get that site, but it's not a problem. Mimi starting off towards C again with that pressure, but B main, Daiki already has full control of it.
This looks just like the pistol. You remember the pistol? It was the dog towards C, and they contacted up A, and that's where that fight ensued that went horribly awry for Liquid, but this time there's no one there to challenge back.
Yep, Astra and Raze playing that suck nade setup off contact. It's going to be detrimental if they don't bait out that star. I mean, it's going to be hard and looking like they are trying to end towards that A. The nade's coming out, the util is starting.
Oh, that's really good after Petra. It was the stun, it was the nade. Or, excuse me, from Ascent, she gets 2, but Petra's there on the counter. Daiki has Seekers too and invested, understanding now that Roxy's going to be playing off. Sarah's far up. Issa, yeah, mollied off, but they're surrounding them. It's just 2 remaining for the attacking side. Sarah has to go aggressive here to make the play, isolate the fight, and she cannot. Liquid so close to series point, so close to forgetting all about their 3rd place finish last year. So close to booking a ticket to dance with Shopify. 1 round away.
That was wild. I mean, the C setup, playing passive. Daiki taking B main pressure and immediately rotating towards that A link. She knew it was going to be an A hit. They were all ready. Even though Jujina died on site, she still managed to get her concussed. She still managed to get herself off. And off of that, Bastarda got 2 beautiful kills. And we talked about the fast flooding, and TL just showed us that's why they're getting so far with these retakes. They pushed so fast into that site, they didn't even have a chance to react.
No way.
Bastarda walking up. Oh my goodness.
I mean, the leader, the duelist, who's had such an outrageous tournament, just has to sit and watch. The rest of G2 again playing this quietly, much like they did in the previous round. Towards A, 1 Astra Star, and then 2 members. Posted up, there's so much space that's been taken. Jujina will fall. Bastarda close by, and instantly you see Daiki on the move, on the prowl. The alarm bot's gonna keep her back for just a moment. Oh my goodness, Bastarda, this is aggressive. The nade forward eats the paranoia, but they don't realize how close she is. Steady with the aim. The crosshair swings onto another. It's not gonna deliver. 3v3 as Daiki once again finds the perfect timing, finds the perfect kill, and Glance falls. It's all on to Sarah. A 1v2, she's stunned, and she cannot pull it off. Team Liquid do the unthinkable. The Dark Horse pushes forward and advances.
What a show! TL showing absolute dominance on both of these maps. 2-0 against the former champions. TL showing that they deserve to be in that grand final. SR, they should be ready for a fight tomorrow because this TL is looking so clean.
Unbelievable. I mean, what a series. Again, you see it. Remember, 2nd best of 3 today. A test of endurance, a test of stamina against a team that, yeah, maybe some players or some people in the community had questions about, will G2 be as good as they were last year? They came into the tournament and they sure did look like it.
Yeah.
Right? The experiment was working. G2 seemed to be peaking at just the right time. But behind this crowd, who's on their feet right now, they pull it off. They freaking pull it off. A 3rd place finish last year in Berlin. This time, their home ground, they're not done yet.
Yeah, and you can see how emotional all these players are. I mean, G2 played absolutely amazingly. Every single one of these players showing us what they have got. They showed us in each role and in each passing clutch that they are amazing players. G2, absolutely wonderful. But TL on their home ground, just like you said, they have that buff and such an emotional way to end this BO3 because you can tell that TL really wanted to be here, let alone in front of the crowd in their home.
What a moment. What a moment. Oh, sweep against G2. They played beautifully. They really did. They never showed signs of slowing down. There was never any sign of fatigue or anything like that. And G2 put up a fight. Like, let's call it what it was. It wasn't like they rolled over, but Liquid handled it beautifully.
Yeah, Liquid showing again, each one of these players why they were picked up. They did that whole roster swap. They changed all of their players other than 2, and they showed why they picked up these players, because they pushed through and pushed past the obstacle that they could not fight last year. And now this beautiful 2-0 sending them into the grand finals. What a way to end this day.
And they did it with confidence. They did it with clutches.
Yep.
There was flashy, there was style, there was, I mean, everything you could possibly want. And the #1 seed out of Brazil continues to push forward.
And again, we need to talk about Eugenia, because she has been playing crazy. Today, in general, she has been playing wonderfully. Yes, the whole tournament, she has been playing amazing, and every single one of these girls on this stage has been playing amazing, but Eugenia today just showed us that she is so hungry for it. Such an amazing way to see how this team has formed and this team plays together. Amazing timing, amazing lurks. For real, I need to commend Eugenia for the way that she played today.
Welcomed by high fives and cheers and requests for autograph, and well, for good reason. After that performance against G2, second series of the day against an SMG team that looked very formidable, that looked very confident. We were having questions about whether or not they'd be the first APAC team to lift a trophy like that. Like, it would just be ridiculous, and it's just been so good for Liquid. Unreal. You can see it, celebrations everywhere. It's a big moment, a very big moment for Team Liquid.
Yeah, I need to get me some of those TL photo cards, because that was a show. That was an amazing watch. And look at this emotional moment between family and between players. This is exactly why they do this. And we know that tomorrow we are going to see an even more formidable opponent. Someone that's going to be so hungry for the win in front of this crowd.
Tomorrow, a fight, a slugfest. But today, for now, and exhaling a sigh of relief as they've taken care of what they've needed. We're going to throw it down to the stage for the Verizon post-match interview.
Estamos aqui diretamente do palco, gente. Eu tô aqui com a Bezerra da Team Liquid, que estão diretamente na nossa grande final de casa. Hello everyone, I'm here with Bezerra from Team Liquid, and right now I'm going to ask you what do you have in your mind? I mean, you're in the grand finals and in your home ground. How does it feel?
Cara, é um sentimento de, assim, a gente conseguiu a nossa reconexão, então a gente tá muito feliz de ter, tipo, varrido essa Laura e agora tá na final, tipo, não sei nem explicar o nosso sentimento, de verdade. E com nossos familiares, a torcida toda pra gente, tipo, mano, incrível, sério, incrível.
She said that she barely can explain anything because this feels amazing, because she has the crowd, her families together here, and the feeling that they went through lower bracket and they simply nailed it. It was really good. So let me ask you once more. Basically, Petra, in an interview from G2, said that SMG was shooting harder than both Team Liquid and Shopify Rebellion. So I really want to know, what do you think about that? Eu perguntei pra ela agora, né, o que ela tá achando, porque olha, ontem eu vi uma entrevista da Petra da G2 falando que a SMG tava ali atirando pesado mais do que a Team Liquid e do que a Shopify Rebellion. O que você acha disso?
Cara, eu não culpo elas por ter achado isso, porque na nossa estreia contra elas a gente tava mais nervosa, tava, assim, muito diferente do que a gente realmente é. E agora a gente provou pra elas que, pô, não é assim e tá bem diferente.
She said that basically she can't blame Petra because at the beginning, on her first match against G2, they were really nervous, and that's why Petra felt this way, basically. This is amazing. The crowd is cheering so hard. So, last question, but not least, Shopify Rebellion is your next step. What are you expecting? O que você está esperando agora da Shopify Rebellion? Grande final, e aí?
Cara, sinceramente, eu não tô esperando... Não tô esperando, assim, nada extraordinário delas. A gente tá focando mais na gente. Então, acho que é isso, é manter o ritmo e focar mais na gente do que o outro time que tá contra. Porque foi o que a gente fez nessa lore, que a gente focou, confiança, tudo. E a gente tá confiando em si mesmo. Tipo, qualquer time que vir, a gente vai amassar porque a gente tá muito confiante.
That's great. Thank you so much. She said that she doesn't expect a thing from Shopify Rebellion. What she does expect is from Team Liquid. So she says that it doesn't matter which team she's going to face. They're going to nailed it. Thank you so much. Parabéns. E agora é a grande final. Manda beijo pro pessoal.
Beijo, gente. Muito obrigada pela torcida. Quem não esteve aqui, a gente sentiu também muita energia de vocês. Muito obrigada de verdade, gente. Beijo e continue torcendo pra gente.
She sent a lot of kisses and please continue to cheer for us, Team Liquid. That's it. Thank you so much. É isso, é com vocês, galera!
2 series and 5 maps later, we have our grand finalists joining Shopify Rebellion. This is, by the way, Team Liquid's first international grand final in Valorant across 7 international appearances. This is definitely a landmark in Valorant history here, Sapphire.
Yeah, there's been, so many incredible players across the entire Team Liquid organization in Valorant, but it's the Game Changers roster that finally gets the org to that grand final spot.
Yeah, it's amazing indeed. And Baby Bay, we saw just how hard they fought, and we're seeing so many great plays like here right now, especially this one from Jujina, which nobody thought she would be able to pull off.
This clutch was ridiculous. There's no way you should be able to win this, but the outplay with the Astral Wall, making doubt in the enemy Viper's mind, is she on the bomb or not? And then the wide swing coming through. It was beautiful, and honestly, they're so passionate, and it was a real tearjerker. We were all like getting teary-eyed when we saw the reaction when they won with their families, boyfriends, everything going
We're like,
on.
are they cutting to us already? Because wait, hold on.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful scene to watch.
It was, and you can just tell how emotional this is for all of the players and for the region as a whole, the Brazilian region as a whole, how much this means to them. The crowd has been constant in their support across all of the games, and of course, the cheers from Team Liquid have been the loudest, respectively, but also because just it means so much to them.
Yeah, I mean, these players have been together for so long, especially Daiki and Bastarda have been building this roster for a while now, and finally they're making it to that grand final spot.
And look at this, we have Petra here as the MVP for G2, and we have Pizera for Team Liquid. And I think it's no surprise because as we entered those last few rounds, she was definitely popping off, Baby Bay.
Yeah, everybody on this roster has been having their moments as this tournament has gone on. And if you look at the actual kill distribution, it's really even across the board. I think that goes to show why they had such a good performance today against G2. And it wasn't some easy win. It was hard fought, but the adaptations that they made, especially on that attacking side, by going B a lot in those post plants that they had, it was menacing to G2, honestly.
And I love how you could tell that, they had that second win, they had that momentum towards the last few rounds, because you could tell that they could already taste the victory. You could kind of feel more aggression, more of that push towards the final stretch.
The crowd was feeling it, they were feeling it. Palestra started putting his shoes on.
I'm ready to go.
He knew they were ready to close it out.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, it was a great moment indeed, and you can feel the joy. But of course, this, definitely much respect to G2. This does not take anything away from their performance here in this tournament. They're definitely, as we mentioned, this is still the top 4, this is still top 3 for G2, and they are definitely one of the strongest teams out there in the Game Changers scene. And Baby Bay, all that is left to do is tune in tomorrow for our grand final, a best of 5 showdown between Shopify Rebellion and Team Liquid. What are your thoughts right now?
Honestly, this is a crazy storyline from Team Liquid making this lower bracket run, and it's kind of like, is it fate? Is it fate? Are they meant to win in Brazil? There's a strong case that it's so.
It sounds like the story is writing itself, right, Sapphire? Before we close out, any final thoughts?
Yeah, it's just so exciting to see this team on home turf. It's rare. We travel around all the time for Game Changers, for VCT, and it's really hard to get into that grand final spot regardless of location. So to do it in front of your home team, that's such a special moment for those players.
The story seems to be writing itself, but is it set? Not quite yet. You're going to have to tune in tomorrow to find out what happens. So thanks so much for watching. We will see you guys tomorrow at the grand final. And before you go, we're going to leave you with these Prime Gaming post-day highlights. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Bye.
The stage is set. We have Haven, Bind, and Ascent. This could be the last 3 maps for one of these teams in this tournament.
Oh, Kohivi. She's gonna get all 4. Beautiful control on her spray. There's the pull, stun through, they'll head into this site, and 2 are stuck. Shirazi jumping down into hell. She's got it down to 1, but Isa gives it away. Is there time to get this one done? Can Shirazi find the shot? Only a sheriff in her hand, but it's Isa instead. Stalls time for a moment. It'll work in her favor, but she needs to rely on spam. She needs to rely on lock-in. Well, she found one. Can she get Isa off? Can she stop this? Just at the last moment, Shirazi closes the map. Team SMG force Liquid on the back foot. Nike does have something to get back into this round for TL, but look how fast she's flanking.
And there he is still going in. Team Liquid being fully encircled, but Daiki is fighting her way out. A 3K for her now too.
Daiki holds the line. She's got another shot. Here, Kamiyu close. The rocket connects. Bastarda's still alive and ready for another fight. It's an Aerie. Desperately trying to get something done with a rocket of her own, but Bastarda has got the angle. And here comes Georgina. She's ready for hers as well. At aim, it sure is crisp. Team Liquid, they have controlled this map from the beginning to the end. They close out 13-7. They push us to Ascent. Drawn forward. Team Liquid have great information, and the spam is there as well. Prime Gaming flawless Team Liquid. Did she get another? She doesn't need it! Alexi has got 3. Bazera's on the ground. Isa's finding hers. How has she done that? How does she keep Team Liquid in this round? Can she do more? No doubt! Bazera has a flash. How much can she get done? The Spectre runs and guns and bowls them over.
Team Liquid will defeat SMG and advance to the top 3 once again.
Their hero run continues. The gauntlet calls them deeper into this tournament.
The hopes of the Brazilian region are on the line, and the defending champions are on a mission to reclaim their crown. It can't get any better than this.
And again, they don't know that Mimi's here. This is perfect. Mimi gets 2. What a gorgeous set by G2. And like Glance get into a better position. Roxy winning the first. It's gonna have to be Glance. Glance is healthy. Daiki is not by any means, but it does not matter. And the alarm bot's keeping things back for now. Mimi the first to fall. Petra shortly thereafter joining. Back-to-back Prime Gaming flawlesses for Team Liquid. The crowd comes back to life as things are closed out. A 1-0 series lead for Team Liquid. And now the flank is coming through. The pit's gonna come down, but Georgina's timing is perfect. She's gonna hit the spam, and she does! Georgina! The Red Bull clutch for Liquid, just at the right time. If you're trying to play backside there, you have a flash coming around one side, the nade coming around the other. That's 3 on the round for Mimi. In the face of a pit, with the Guardian, pushing forward, snaps the first, 3 down on the round. The tap, the grab, and Georgina does it! Team Liquid do the unthinkable. The Dark Horse pushes forward and advances.
2-0 against the former champions, SR. They should be ready for a fight tomorrow because this TL is looking so clean.